Hello, everyone, and welcome to RPGeeks, Dungeons & Dragons and Science. This is our actual play D&D campaign set in a sci-fi world. We take D&D mechanics and spells and sci-fi nonsense, and we explain it all with science in the DnDebrief section after the actual play game section. It's going to be exciting. Stick around for all of that. But first, we must introduce ourselves so that you know who you're dealing with here. My name is Sharmini. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a science filmmaker, and I played Nebris in this exciting game. A sort of drow sorcerer, but not really, because sci-fi. Emily Bates.
Hello, I'm Emily Bates. I make science videos for a living, and I use she, her pronouns. And in this, I play Infinite Sky 6000, who is a terraforming droid thing robot. Simon?
Thank you. I've just realised that you have one of those names that I think of as your whole name every time.
Mm-hmm, yep.
But like so frequently it is also just one or the other. You have like the most versatile name I think I've ever heard.
Well done.
Thank you so much. I've been working really hard on it.
I am Simon, sometimes with the surname Clark, and I play Uriel, I use he, him pronouns, and Uriel is a dwarf monk, but in our universe we are running as a cybernetically enhanced human. And I do science stuff, like books and YouTube and Twitch and some TV stuff for a living. Ooh. Which is all to say I'm a professional nerd. And speaking of which, Ali Jennings.
Hello, professional nerd as well. I'm he, him, and I'm the DM for this particular situation. I'm not science videos. That's it. Roll the film.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Every time.
Here we go.
So, where were we? After confronting a group of smugglers deep in the Mukinji Mountains, the party barely escaped with their lives, and they ended up deep in the forests at the borders of the mountains and had to trek their way back towards the settlement of Vow, where we began our story. But on the way, they were stalked, surrounded, and attacked by a wolf pack. Infinity and Uriel fell, and the wolves turned on Tenebris before a rain of bolts from the sky drove the wolves away, killing one of them. 4 figures fell from the treetops, and Tenebris, with a last-ditch attempt, convinced them to help her stabilize both Uriel and Infinity and to take them to their treetop settlement. When Uriel and Infinity came to, they found themselves amid the trees, amid the branches, amid the leaves, in this strange conglomeration of people with these rope bridges leading here and there, ropes tangled between the trees, planks and platforms. They found Tenebris, and they were just greeting each other and finding out that they were all okay again, when the 4 figures who'd saved them landed again on the platform before them, and behind them the towering figure of a simian-like person with their hands on your shoulders. So
we're on a branch right now, and they're all...
You're on a platform that's built on a branch.
Okay.
How big is the platform?
It's about 5 meters wide.
Okay.
That would be, 48 cubits for our American friends, or...
We're not getting into that again.
Yeah.
It's like half a tennis court.
Oh, I didn't realise that the cat person was behind us.
Also,
alarming.
I do
The
like
cat person
how
is
Ali-
more simian than cat, right? They have kind of larger jaw. Their
Of course, they've
fangs
got
are
a
more
prehensile
like
tail.
baboon fangs.
Yeah.
Ali, whenever you do these summaries, you always sound so neutral and all, like the Watcher. And I just want to remind you that you are the one that chose to do all of these horrible things to our characters.
I just say what I see. That's what I see.
What you say, so what you say.
Anyway, so the young woman who seems to be the sort of de facto leader of this little party steps before you. She's got a hook nose, she's got her binoculars hanging around her neck, and she wears a squirrel suit, a flying squirrel suit, with the legs and arms attached with flaps of material. And she steps before you. She appraises you coolly over her long, hooked nose. What are we to do with you? She looks back over her shoulder at the old man with the rifle unslung in his hands. He stands just at the joining point of a platform and a rope ladder, and next to him is a young girl with long tousled hair and mishmash sort of clothing, but she's holding quite a long knife, which she's just playing with against the palm of her hand. Please excuse my colleague. He's still underneath the impression, yes, you say this? That you are Armada spies.
Oh, wait, no. We are absolutely not spies or anything to do with the Armada. Nothing like that.
Insight check on Uriel. What? No,
Right.
it just sounds really dodgy. So now I was like,
Tenebris.
wait, are we?
Tenebris, roll an insight check. Uriel, roll either persuasion or deception.
Question: does Infinity know what the Armada is?
About that. I have no idea. I suddenly have
Infinity-
the feeling that Uriel might though.
So, you guys, depending on what... So what did you both roll?
17.
What did you roll, Tenebris?
Natural one.
I guess you look over at Uriel, he's pretty inscrutable. He's also, like, quite close to death, so you can't tell if he even really heard the question. Infinity, you have heard of the Armada. The Armada existed long before you did.
Okay, great.
Do you know what that is?
Okay, good.
And you know it as the shield for the Alliance. It's the military faction, yes, but, you know, it doesn't wage war or do all of that evil army stuff. It's there to maintain the peace.
Oh, great. How is that possibly going to go wrong?
I belong to TerraCorp.
You belong to what?
TerraCorp. They're nothing to do with the Armada.
You didn't introduce yourself, Infinity.
Oh,
and
hello.
Uriel. This is Emelina. And Uriel, Infinite Sky, 6000, serial number 7024512345
that's incorrect. Actually, it's 8691. I haven't got it.
I was nearly what I said.
Yes, it was. You were
close.
very close. I'll recite it to you later, and we can all learn it.
And I'm Uriel. Hello. Thank you for the save. We would have been we would have bled out back there if we wouldn't. So thank you.
Yes, thank you for saving Uriel.
You see the old man, his eyes narrow. He looks over to Emelina, and you hear, Rita. There's a pause. Emelina looks at him, softly shakes her head, and looks back to you. She continues, but I am thinking you're not. You certainly would be the most strange choice of military infiltrators. Perhaps not best suited to combat, judging from your last encounter.
Well, actually, Uriel and Infinity are very good because Infinity can do all sorts of things. And
I'm a terraformer.
yes, but you do that. You make your fist into a big club and then
Yes, that's if people try to hurt my friends.
And Uriel punches people in the balls.
He does. He's very good at it.
Or wolves. And it is sometimes effective.
But I'm not really a fighter. I'm more of a kind of machinist normally. Deal with machines, not with punching. Normally, it's only on this planet actually recently becoming the punching business.
You're not from Bexiganto? Where are you from?
I'm from Terracorp.
I'm from the shipyard of Martinsbane. Hi.
I am from
Martinsbane.
Yeah.
She looks over towards the old man. His grip tightens on the butt of the rifle.
But we don't work for any bad people, and we are basically, if you wanted us to do jobs, we are available. We don't, like to mind people more than you. You seem great.
Emelina.
I would like you to put your weapons away, though.
Emelina smiles at you, Infinity. She's cute, yes? And she
Tenebris
walks slowly. Sorry.
No, that was Infinity being confused about who she thinks is cute.
Emelina walks slowly over to you, Uriel, and as she gets closer, you catch the scent of jasmine in the air around her. She leans in to look at you. Then you're an enigma, yes? You're from Martinsbane, and yet not Armada.
No.
Can you explain this?
Not Armada. I was here on business from the shipyard, actually. I was here fetching a component, and I only make it here. Turns out, couldn't get hold of it, and then I ended up in Val. So, yeah, not in the Armada, just trying to get back home with that component, to be honest with you.
What's the component, Uriel?
It's just a thing for some people back home. It's for one of the ships. It's not important.
Right.
Roll a persuasion check.
What's my modifier though?
I don't think it's good.
16.
16. Emelina looks you up and down. She looks over your head, and you hear "Huh" come from just above you. And you look over your shoulder. The towering simian figure of this muscular individual looms behind you, and you see a very slight shake of the head. And Emelina steps back. She turns to you, Tenebris. I was unsure what to make of your story, but it seems things have changed. Ranak is indeed missing.
Oh, he's dead.
She
On
turns
fire.
towards you, Infinity, and raises her eyebrow.
Yes, we saw it. He
Please.
got attacked by a wall of light. And us before that, but mainly the wall of light.
A wall of light, you say? Mm-hmm. Just as you said before.
It is true. I don't lie to you.
You're telling me Ranak is dead?
The last we saw him, he was very much on fire
Yes.
and exploding. So, yeah, I think he's dead.
And his friend as well. One friend was also on fire there.
Emelina takes a step back. You see a flitter of something pass across her face.
Insight check.
What are you insight checking?
What the flicker of
Yes,
something
thinking.
across her faces?
What kind of
Happy?
thoughts is she having?
Sad?
Okay.
About
right.
right.
Roll an insight check.
19.
Oh,
I want to know
no
everything.
in that cannot be sought by infinity.
I will text you.
We've not had this before.
Secrets!
Let's go.
I love it.
Hang on.
Infinity's great with
just-
secrets, I'm sure.
Selves.
I have just received a
understands
text
the
from the DM. A DM
This is
from the
fine.
DM. Yeah, this whole campaign is a massive
okay.
misunderstanding. When we asked Ali to DM us, he thought we meant Dungeon Master. We actually just wanted him to send us a message.
Yeah, we were just like, Ali, please pay attention.
We're several months in, and we had out the heart to tell him.
Okay. Oh, he's still typing. Oh, he's still.
Okay.
Insights for a 19.
Yeah. Okay. Ali's quite a slow typer, so.
Very slow. I'm born in the days.
He's doing the one finger thing that dads do.
And it's just that number. It's like 531. What is it? 8008. We turn it upside down as boobies.
As she thinks, you see behind her the older man. He lowers his rifle and steps forward. And he looks towards you, Infinity. What do you know of his passage?
His passage? His passage? This passage? His passing? What? I'm sorry. I don't
What do
understand.
you know of his passage?
He was
Okay, guys.
in the mines. And I'm trying really hard, BT. Okay,
You're doing really well,
doing
mate. I'm really proud of you.
Keep it tight.
So, well, he was in the mines, and and he got hit by a wall of light, so he's dead now.
Not his passing.
Oh, his passage. Yes. Well, no, actually, we're quite familiar with it. We went down it, I believe. We went into the mines and we went through roundhouse.
You try not to understand.
No, I am trying very hard.
What do you know of the path he takes with his merchandise?
With the smuggling of the goods. We do not know, but he is not doing it anymore. He promised before he died.
You know nothing.
Well,
We
there
we
were
found a
those
secret
people-
passage, but then there was no one there.
There was the people on the trucks. It might have been going on the trucks, we think. We didn't see it, but that's a
thought that-
possibility.
And then we found the secret passage that was above the place, and then we waited, and we waited, and we waited, and no one came.
Oh, yeah.
Someone choose to roll a persuasion check. And you can do it with advantage because you're all trying.
We're all
never
trying so
would you
hard
like
to not die.
Try.
Yes, if you'd
think-
like me to. That
I
might
think
be-
it's a bad idea for me to do it, so.
Persuasion, was that?
Yeah.
With advantage.
With advantage. Okay, that's good, that's good, that's great, that's good. We like that. Yes, we like that a lot. 21.
You see him stare at all three of you. He sucks in his breath, turns his head to the left, spits on the floor, and then slings his gun back over his shoulder, crosses his arms, and watches you. Emelina turns back to you. So, you know nothing of his smuggling?
Well,
know
we know
he's
that
dead.
people in Val wanted him to stop doing it,
We tried to find out about the smuggling. We did.
but then he died.
Yeah.
People in
Before we
Val,
did,
they
he said
know
he
of the
wouldn't,
smuggling.
The people in Val do know, yes.
They said, please, what is the smuggling? Why is our things being smuggled away? Make it stop.
Yes, they don't understand it, but they know of it.
We said, Ranak, please stop the smuggling of the rocks. And he said,
Of course, I'm going to stop.
will promise.
Found something better.
This
and then
is
he died.
much better. My wall. Ah, ha, ha, ha.
And then he died.
And then, but maybe he wanted to because he seemed very keen to make the wall glow and explode. So maybe he was like, "Yay, I'm on fire." I don't know.
I don't think he liked it.
You know of the cove?
No.
What is a cove? Like a cave?
Roll a history check, all of you.
Oh, I want to know about a cove. Terrible history. Oh, dear.
13.
12.
Why do I get a +3? That's a 12.
I'm one better than all of you.
You have heard in passing of some sort of settlement outside of Gunka, which is on the coastline, and may have something to do with the cove, but you don't know the exact name and you don't know anything about it. Emelina narrows her eyes. Very well. You don't know the cove? You know nothing of Ranak's business? Yet you have dispatched him anyway. It seems you have done us a service. Ranak Light Pounder was hardly liked here. So, you are free to go. You are welcome to do as you please until then, but I would warn you that we are leaving this place now.
I was going to ask, where is everyone going?
Should you have any business, it would be wise to conduct it quickly. Oh. We are leaving for another place. You see, it pays to be mobile in our business. One cannot be too careful.
What business is that? What do you do?
She turns to you, Uriel. Gives you a wink. Wow. This would be telling, would it not?
Oh, I see.
I don't have a...
Everyone has secrets. It's all secretive.
I think they sell winks.
What?
Infinity tries to wink but doesn't have eyelids.
Oh, no, surely Infinity's wink would just be one of her eyes just go dark.
Turning off. Yeah.
Like it just flickers.
How was that?
Work on that.
Thank you very much for not pushing us out of the tree and saving us, and we are very appreciative of your very nice friends and trees.
Do you have any hate to be a problem, but you've already saved our lives, thank you. Do you have any food? We actually haven't really eaten very much.
We have those mushrooms.
Yeah, that was all we've eaten in several days, and kind of hungry.
You tried the mushrooms of the forest, and for the first time, you see the older man smile.
Oh.
And how were they?
I sat down. I've never eaten before, so I didn't quite understand, and I think I got it wrong.
I would not recommend that they were necessarily the type of mushrooms that you would want to eat a lot of.
From behind you, you hear...
I have some if you like them.
A huge hairy hand reaches down, palm upwards, places it in front of you. Yeah.
Pull out a couple of mushrooms and give it to them.
The palm closes around them and withdraws. Thank you.
It's nice to make friends.
Like that giant Muppet from Muppet Treasure Island.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Yeah, the mushrooms weren't really our thing. Do you have any nutrient paste or anything like that?
They will sell food further down in the market. You can go if you wish. It is a busy time now. People coming and going. I suggest you go there.
Is there anywhere that maybe they let you do some dishes in exchange for the food? Like washing and cleaning floor and... that kind of
We do
thing.
have a way to pay, but I don't know. Would people be interested in
You do?
gems?
Yes.
You see her face.
Gems.
You see her face suddenly change. The expression, which was one of just a bit sort of as though you were children, really, and you didn't know what you were doing or what you'd wandered into.
That's correct.
Suddenly falls away, and you see the sharp-eyed look of someone who's heard of gems before. But that would depend on what kind of gems you're offering, my friend. Would you allow me to look?
I think I gave all mine to Tenebris.
Gems.
Yes,
I forgot
have
about
a third.
the gems.
Tenebris has 2
Yeah.
thirds.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull out like a random handful of gems and be like, "Oh yes, what are these, please?"
She takes up the goggles and flicks a dial across the top of one of them.
Cute.
And then
Microscope.
they go telescope out into a
Oh my god, she's the
kind of
coolest.
telescopic lens. She places it on the wood. She kneels down and presses the microscope. on
Like in
the-
Toy
the-
Story 2 when the guy's fixing Woody and he has the...
Yes!
Yeah.
The binoculars up against it. She watches, and it's dark now, remember, so there's no daylight. But she places it just underneath a glowing globe that hangs from one of these branches. She watches as the light reflects off the inside, the tints of the gem. It's a ruby. She holds it in her hand, weighing it. Yes, you could certainly fetch the price of a meal with this. How much do you have?
I have lots and lots and lots of gems. Just gonna get like another handful and just be like,
I gave all mine to Tenebris.
"We found them, but we don't know if they are ours. But they are ours now."
I've got mine, which is just here. They are definitely mine.
Perhaps you found them in your dealings with Raunak?
It was right before we met him.
They were sort of lying around in a lock safe.
Maybe it was his, and then he is dead now. So
Yes.
Yes. He always had an eye for the precious. Anyway,
Why do you hate him so much?
she turns to you and she takes half a step forward, looking at you over the top of her nose, and she brings her face very close to yours, looking you up and down. You're in a bad way, right? Scars across you, bits of metal, misshapen. She reaches forward and touches one of these wounds with her fingertip. He hurt me.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's dead now.
He hurt us too.
He didn't really hurt me at
he
all.
tried to
actually.
shoot Uriel.
And then he got his friends to kind of, hurt us.
Oh, he
quite
was
a bit.
bad. Darax,
Yeah.
he was worse.
Yeah, we don't like
He
that.
was mean.
Punched him right in the dick.
You did.
From behind you, you hear.
Finally, a gentleman of culture.
Yes. You can take these, yes, to the market sellers. Maybe they will give you something. They're certainly worth enough. I would say from looking at this total you have here, perhaps 400 gold. I don't know if you have more, but they're certainly valuable.
Sorry, is that just the handful that Tenebris pulled out, or is that all of Tenebris's?
That's all of the gems within Tenebris.
Including but not including Uriel's.
No, not including Uriel.
So basically, we would have 600 total. If we
No. You two have 400. I have 200.
Wow.
Hey, Euro wants off this rock.
Your Leon is showing.
That's his home game character.
Home game.
Yeah, home
joke.
game.
Apologies.
Home game. Very different character. Honest.
Just likes gems a lot.
Yeah, suspicious similarities.
As you're talking amongst yourselves, the older man turns around with a snort, claps his hand on the back of the of the little girl, and they both walk off together down the rope bridge towards where you can see a cluster of lights moving, and actually a brighter lit space. Behind you, you hear thump, 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 and then silence, and you see the swinging figure, the shadow of this large person swinging its way through the trees. Emelina looks to all of you in turn, and then she leans in. If I were to give you one piece of advice, should you get your hands on anything more like this, she points to the gems, it would behoove you to uncover the cove. And then she turns, walks to the edge of the trunk, looks down, spreads her arms, and then turns back to you and says, "Of course I'm not going to jump. It's dark. What did you think? I'm stupid?" And then she walks away across one of the rope bridges.
She's very funny.
Batman music starts playing.
Thank you, Emelina.
Goodbye.
I told you she was secretly nice. Not to people,
Yes,
but just
I was
generally and
concerned.
secretly.
I actually thought they were all going to try and kill us at first. I was very close to attacking them.
Well, we haven't done anything wrong, but in our recent experience, it's happened a lot. I'll give you that.
They walked up to us with all their weapons out.
When you were dead in the forest, she was going to say, "Oh, I'm going to leave you here," but she didn't, because she said, "I have conscience." And that's how I knew that she was a good person.
Right, a conscience.
Yes, conscience is when you don't kill people.
Oh,
I
I don't think I have one of those.
I might have lost my conscience.
Oh, well, no. If you're a good person and you don't want to cause horrible pain and you'd like to be nice to people and have friends,
I like having friends.
yeah, then that is, you have conscience.
But then there's the advantage to not having a conscience, and that your action set is larger and you can do more things.
Yes, I don't think I used to have a conscience.
But when sometimes you do horrible things and you hurt people, and then all the people are scared of you and they say, "Do not be friends with them. They are scary and they are monster." And then you are alone.
But then they leave you alone.
DnDebrief.
If you want to be alone, you can do that.
Okay. Should we get some food? You two look hungry.
You look like you could do with seeing a mechanic as well.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm going to class Cure Wounds
full
on myself.
Yes,
Which I think, if in this case, is just Infinity, like, running nanobots and, like, patching up some of the screens that are broken and just being like, "Hang on."
It's like the latest edition of Tony Stark's armor going on. Like, reskins you.
Yeah.
What does everybody see when you do this to yourself?
It's a good question. I think for a second she just stops still, and like there's nothing. Her face like goes into complete neutral. I think the eyes probably switch off, and then suddenly you just see, and all the screens are still on, so you can still see all the stars and everything. And slowly there's like where there's cracks and things in the screens, you just see suddenly like minuscule little things, and they just start like forming and filling in the crack, and then it just like seals back up, and then the minute all the screens are fixed, eyes just pop back up. And I will actually remember to roll the number.
I had a question about this
6 hit points.
based on what happened earlier, which is how articulated is Infinity's face? Like, is it a mask or is it fully articulated? Like
little mini panels that
I think
move.
so. I think if we look
Check
at
the
the
artwork.
picture,
Everyone check the artwork.
it looks very, but I think it's more like, you know how you have those smartphones now that like are really weird and you can bend them and like fold them in half and then open them up and have a really big screen. I think it's more like movable. It's like stretchy screens as opposed to the rest of her, which is a bit more solid. Because in the future, they won't be as shit as those smartphones are, where they get a big crease down the middle.
Your face just snaps into.
Yeah, just snaps into her cheekbones are
good
really
night.
good though. Like, I want to be really clear about how good Infinity's cheekbones are. They are like super sharp. That's important.
It's like the opposite of the saw bear trap. Your face. Clunk!
No, she doesn't know. It's movable.
Looking at the artwork, I'm now imagining like her without like having the eyes but not having the nose and mouth, and it's really horrifying. Like,
no, but she has the nose and mouth.
Maybe don't imagine that.
Created
Uriel,
in a humanoid shape.
Try and imagine.
Just touching her face.
Yeah. You see what you started to see before the group of tree hunters landed next to you. You see this central kind of trailer-like shape. So it's a sort of pod. It's before the sun went down, you saw that it's covered in bits of pipe work, metal work, this sort of bad soldering. Uriel, you especially, in the brief moments that you saw it, would have noted that the metal work was bad, that the wrong kinds of alloys were being used. It was all kind of bodged together. There were scorch marks along the side and rust basically covering the whole thing. This thing, which had been hanging between the trees, had inflated, lifting balloons from the corners, and had started to rise as soon as night had fallen. And it has no lights on it. So all you can see is very occasionally a shadow will pass across the front of the moon, the shadow of one of these balloons, as this shape starts to shift and move out of this grove of treetops somewhere else. And while that's happening, little motes of light have been moving around the trees themselves. They've been gathering around the larger trees, around the trunks, and moving slowly upwards, a slow, gradual flow of these light sources moving into the treetops and towards the crowns of the trees. There is, to your left, a rope bridge that leads you towards what looks like a larger platform where there's actually a blaze of light, much more than the individual motes that you would have seen, and you can even see shadows being cast of people walking across this platform. A bustle, a hubbub of people, lots and lots of people there, all going about some sort of business. To your right, you can actually see on the far another rope bridge, and at the far end, two shadowy figures starting to dismantle the bridge.
Well, if we're going to go to the market, we should probably go now, otherwise we're going to be trapped.
Yes, I think that's a good idea. Off we go.
You traipse your way to the market, tired, apart from you, Tenebris, who've had a little nap. quite happy. And you balance your way across this rope bridge, swaying ever so slightly as Uriel's misbalanced body unsettles the rope bridge. And you reach this platform, this large platform. It's bigger than the one that you were previously on. It may be the size of almost the size of a football pitch, but spread around like a donut around this thick, hefty tree trunk.
Can we get that in Imperial, please?
Stop it.
How many hogsheads is that?
No, they have football there. Don't patronise the poor people. So,
hey, you said this was Imperial space.
No, it's not. It's Armada space.
Armada.
And the Armada is good.
It's definitely not an Empire.
Get that 100% clear. So, around you, as you enter, is the onto this platform, and you hear footsteps moving around the space. You hear the hustle and bustle of people talking and discussing, arguing. You hear the shouts of children running past and across the space. It's a hustle and bustle of activity. There's people carrying bits of rope, planks, long strips of cloth, cooking implements, camping stoves. You see a tall, thin woman bedecked in various different kinds of tools wandering past you. Lots of these people have augmented shapes. They've got long arms swinging by their sides, like large cat-like eyes. Some even have heavy metal enhancements, like grabbing claws bolted onto their forms. There's so many different kinds of people here. Lots more varied than Val, where you started. And you see as these people brush past you, not unkindly, but also, they've got business to get on with. You can see that the variations are often not just mechanical, they're biological. And they all seem to have something to do with life in the canopy. You hear this constant chatter, you hear conversations, instructions, people being told, lift that, or lift you, take this away, it's not good to me. The evening breeze is mild before the chill of the night sets in, and on it you can smell frying onions somewhere nearby.
Yes.
Do you smell that?
I've
Infinity,
never
can you smell
that before. Yeah, I can smell.
Oh, good. Do you smell that?
I can sense. And this is a nice sense that I am having right now. My senses enjoy it.
We have to find it.
Oh, okay. The last time we were somewhere with this many people, I got thrown out a door.
Yeah, my track record with crowds has not been great.
Me either. I'm slightly
Look
nervous.
how lovely everyone looks, and they are all happy and having a good time, like they are one big happy family. I think it's lovely.
A family? What's a family?
Like when you're related to people, genetically.
Right.
Or socially.
Not necessarily.
Infinity absolutely knows what a family is. Why am I playing her like she's an absolute idiot?
You would be aware of the concept of family.
Yeah, I'm stopping.
Why would a terraforming robot need to know that?
It's,
You don't know.
What?
Okay.
Oh, a cart.
Up here in the canopy.
Just getting a hang of that right there. The old canopy people.
You just
we were being very quiet, weren't we? No need for that.
You just hear like, ah! Crash. I told you it was a bad idea.
Can I try and use my senses to find out where the bell is coming
To
from?
the church.
Where the smell of the fried onions is coming from.
Before you did that, you see that the bell is being carried by an officious-looking man. He's a bit smaller, a little bit older. He's got mutton chops, and he's wearing quite a kind of sturdy-looking coat with lots of buttons down the front. And he's just walking through, ringing this bell. Dong, dong, dong. Come on, come on, come on. We haven't got all day. We're moving through now. Come on.
I want to meet him and be his friend. That's Emily saying.
Infinity, you allow this man to pass. You lift your nose to the sky and inhale. Roll a perception check.
Yes, come on, Infinity.
That's a natural 20 plus 6 is 26.
Oh!
Where were these rolls the other week? I swear to God.
Yeah, they would have been really
Instantly.
helpful.
Yeah.
Pinpoint the source of the frying onions. Next to you is
It's right
a
there.
woman.
It's 2 feet away.
It's literally
Next to
there.
a stocky woman, and she's standing over the top of a gas burner in a huge wok. And in that wok, you can see onions, you can see peppers, and she just picks out something from the bag just hanging underneath the burner. It looks to be some sort of spice, and she tosses it over the wok and stirs and stirs. There are people coming up to ask her, you know where you're going after this? No, I don't. Well, wherever you're going, please, make sure you come with us. I can't live without this in my life. And she's handing out what looks like little. They look like little wooden bowls, but on closer inspection, you see that they're actually acorns. The cups of acorns filled with this fried vegetables.
Big acorns. Or are they
tiny
tiny,
portions.
tiny?
They're big acorns.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I just like. Excuse me, is this food?
Absolutely, it's food, my dear.
According to the
From
government.
here, are you?
No. No, I'm not.
Food.
Sweet dear. It is food. It's absolutely.
Excellent. My friends would like some.
Hello, we would like to exchange gems for food, please.
Yeah, we'll give this a go. Uriel's looking very unsure about this whole thing.
Have you ever had not paste before, Uriel?
Oh no, I don't really go in for this kind of organic food, really. I prefer.
Very exciting.
Yeah, that's one way of looking. It's all a bit unknown. Now you know where you are, a grey goo. That's what my mum always used to say. Bless her.
Grey goo.
Type 1 nutrient paste was basically all
Right.
we ate. But you knew where you were with it. You knew it was grey and you knew it was goo. And it had
I've
all
never
of your
had
essential
nutrient.
vitamins in it.
Oh, that's good.
You said gems?
Here is a ruby. Emelina said it is very precious to be exchanged for food.
The woman crunches up her face a little bit. She takes this ruby that you've presented to her. She looks at it. She looks back at you. What is it exactly that you're after?
Food?
Your food smells very good.
Dinner? Lunch?
Right.
What time is it?
Yes.
Dinner.
Yes, I think this will suffice. And she carefully pockets the ruby and starts stirring up more and more of these fried vegetables, and the scent of these frying peppers, these onions. There's a little bit of garlic in there, and some sort of unknown bit of spice and herbs that you've never encountered before. All of this starts to fill your nostrils. And the two of you who can salivate and do on a regular basis just... Oh, you're dripping. You're like a cartoon dog, both of you. And Infinity, you two get hungry, but you don't class it as hunger in the same way. You simply understand that you require organic molecules to function correctly, and you require them.
I think I also need to imbibe what you're creating.
We like to eat with Infinity, because Infinity is our mate.
This is a nice song.
The woman looks over to you. Well, that'll be another ruby, I'm afraid.
Oh,
I've got this. I can give you one. I'll take out like one at random. Like,
Infinity is very insightful. Does she realise that this person is...
So it's 10, but I'm not inside.
Like, I don't think she's in... That's the thing. I don't think Infinity is checking, but
Yeah, why
I'm just
would-
wondering if she's... Basically, I guess it's passive, right?
What is
Like,
your passive insight?
my passive insight would be 14.
Yes, you can see that this woman has judged you to be out-of-towners and perhaps not to know the value of what you carry, and is willing to take you to the cleaners.
Oh, I believe we already gave you a ruby.
She looks you up and down, looks over at Uriel. Right, you are, of course. Yeah, of course. Sorry, I completely forgot.
It's okay. It happens to the best of us.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't really forget things often.
Is there a place here that we could swap the rubies for credit? Do you have credits here?
Yes, we have your gold, silver, copper, even platinum. Yes, we do dabble. Everybody's got to eat.
Can I, Ali, like when she's referring to that, is that how people refer to money on a chip? Or is that not
So-
how you refer to?
The way that money works here
Yeah.
is that it's crypto, essentially.
It's the future.
Yeah, Elon.
So,
are we going to be paid for this job in an NFT?
Enjoy. And
Wow,
but
Link.
the way that it's ranked, there are so many of these different currencies just floating around. So you can get paid in a currency which is not volatile, so holds its value very, very stably, and those are the higher currencies, gold, platinum, whatever, and they're actually, because they're so stable, they can be traded across large areas of the planet and even into space, and so they are worth more.
Do they use the blockchain? Is that the idea?
It's something that they might use. Something maybe we
Okay, I'm putting you on the spot, Ellie. Don't worry, it's fine.
I love that you've thought about this. It's weird.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Weird alternative currency system. I love it.
So if you were to be paid in copper or silver, the price would fluctuate so much that it's not really worth the same amount. So in fact, yes.
So when we say gold,
This is
we're not
amazing.
thinking of an ingot, we're thinking of gold coin.
A different kind of chip.
It's like a
You gotta have
rating
multiple
system.
chips.
It's like gold rated, platinum
Alley coin.
rated.
Alley coin.
Amazing.
Yes.
It's all Dogecoin or Dogecoin, or whatever it is.
Doggy Queen.
But you can put them all. You can put multiple currencies on one card, right?
Yes. The card which you have, Tenebris,
I have a card.
is not.
I'm rich. Am I rich?
It's not like everybody has a card which contains a set amount of this currency. That is a way of transferring it between people. It's almost like bearer bonds. What's more normal, you would know, is for people to have linked the currency that they have to some broader system, and then you would simply go onto that system and instantly transfer it. And that could be done with a chip in the body, a chip in the head, anything like that. These cards tend to be used. Well, you wouldn't know that, but it's not a normal way of doing things necessarily.
So do we have a card that acts as like a bank account, basically?
I have a card. Do you have a card?
Euro probably wouldn't have been trusted with.
And no,
So you don't have any money?
No.
I have
Spent
no
it all
money.
on the shuttle.
Hate to get on the shuttle.
Yeah. Okay.
So what are we saying? Are we saying that the card is like a bank account that is just like universal?
Well, no, because it varies. You're saying like different. You have different systems, right? So you could have it on a card. You could have.
I think maybe we should come back to this at another point.
The card will now. The card currently functions as a wallet, but you wouldn't necessarily have to have it as a card in future. But at the moment, we'll call it a wallet,
Okay.
a coin purse, if you will.
Can we have our food now?
The question was whether we can exchange as well.
Absolutely. Sorry, I was. I worked in the financial sector in a previous life, and she hands over. Your these big acorn cups with steaming mounds of vegetables inside them, and then she hands you over three little. She hands you over chopsticks. Each one has, so you each get a set of chopsticks.
Can we roll dexterity checks to see how good we are with chopsticks?
Absolutely.
If you wish. And
I'm bad.
as you
I got a 5.
as she
You got a
hands them
crazy
to
deck.
you,
Yep.
as she hands them to you, she turns to you, Tenebris, and says, "Yeah, you'll be able to find someone. Maybe look for maybe try Chavid. If you find Chavid, he's probably still around. He'll do you a deal."
Okay, where shall we look? Up, down, sideways. We'll just run around and yell, Chavid! And then he'll be our friend. I love it here.
It's very pretty.
And you have such good food.
This food is weirdly solid.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
He'll
I'm
be
learning
around.
to
You'll
chew.
see him wandering around. You'll notice him. Look for. He's an older man. He's been around the block. Thin, pretty thin. He's got these big burn marks on the back of his hands, and you'll know him when you see him.
What's
That's
this guy's
awesome.
name? Sorry, I put mine.
Chavid.
I've been doing too much mime.
Our
Chavid.
new friend, Chavid.
Is that
I'm
like
so
David
excited
but with
to
a
meet
ch?
him.
It's David, but with a Q-U.
What?
QUDAV.
Is there a 3 in there? Cavid.
Yeah, I got a 10 on dexterity, so I've decided Infinity is holding chopsticks way too high and just dropping it in from a great height into her mouth. Like a baby bird being fed, but doing it with chopsticks.
I stab a pepper. Like,
Thank you so much for your help.
All sit down, rest your backs against the gnarled bark of the tree and eat your meal, and it feels like it's breathing warmth through your body. You haven't eaten for so long. Infinity, you start to feel the regenerative processes ticking back into life. Uriel, how do you feel?
feels getting used to this food, but it's good. I could just eat anything at this point.
I like the temperature of it.
Yeah, I've got to say, that's a new one as well, but warm food. I could be swayed. It's all right, actually. I feel it's not exactly what I'm used to here. I'd rather be back up in orbit. As planet size go, this is the best I've seen yet.
Do you orbit this planet?
Come on, out you get on with it.
Not this planet, no.
Oh.
Martin's Bane's around Nicola 3.
Nicola 3, of course.
But
Nicola's love.
a couple of systems over.
Uriel,
Right.
as you're trying to eat this, you realise that you've never actually properly used your molars before. And this chewing, it sort of comes naturally, but it's taking a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah. Infinity isn't really chewing. She's just kind of throwing it in and going, and then it's kind of going down.
Is that an intrinsic... We talked about this a bit last time in the DnDebrief. Is that an intrinsic behaviour? Chewing? Ali, you've got a baby.
Chewing.
It is.
What?
I don't think you have to learn
I
to
hope
chew.
so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It'd be
Remember,
really
you don't
awkward
have
otherwise.
teeth to chew with for a long time. So.
But you've
It's like
gone
no
on
one
things.
tells you to chew. No one's like, okay, move your jaw a little bit.
I don't think you have to watch someone chew to learn to chew. I think you just know.
As you're
bit of
eating,
drama
leaning
there.
against this tree, enjoying your food, Tenebris, you catch sight of a sinewy older man. You see a large hunting knife in his belt, and he's wearing a thin, long coat that comes down almost to his leather boots. One of his legs has been cut off at the knee. And you can see protruding from beneath the coat a series of hooks, metal hooks, that have been made into part of this replacement leg.
Tenebris is like stuffing her mouth, and then like sees him, and then it's just like, Chavin, and then it's like finishing up and like scrambling up. It's like, Chavin, I found Chavin.
Oh, yes, we're supposed to talk to them.
Maybe it might be someone else. Let's see. I'm so excited.
I'm going to follow him, like, eating with slightly more enthusiasm.
I'm gonna run.
You look like you're
towards him.
enjoying that, Uriel.
I'm getting used to this. All right.
The man looks over to you.
Chavin! Hi!
I don't know you.
Are you Chavin?
Who wants to know?
We ate food.
My name is Tenebris. I would like to know if you are Chavis.
Chavid.
Chavid.
We heard
Yeah,
about
not-
you from the lady with the food. The,
She
this
said,
stuff.
"Oh, you Chavid will exchange gems. I don't know. Do you like gems? Look, I have gems." Wave gems at
Chavid
him.
throws a scowl over towards the lady, who turns away, ducks slightly down to get some spices from behind her wok. All right. What is it that you want?
We have all of these lovely, lovely gems, and they are very pretty. But we are very poor, and we don't have any money or credit or anything. And we just like arrived here, and we think it's lovely, and we'd
Could
like
you
to
give
buy
us
some
credit
more
for these
food.
gems that we found?
Yeah, to buy.
As soon as you take out the gems, his whole expression changes, his demeanor changes. He stares down, looks at them intently. He puts his hand out, takes one, looks at it. You're a trusting sort, aren't you? Credit for gems, is it? All right. Show me what you've got. Show me the lot.
Yeah.
I'll help hold some while...
You're just going to take everything out apart from one. He's going to hold one gem back.
I think Infinity remembers how many gems there were.
It's a mixture of rubies and sapphires. What are you holding back?
He'll hold back a sapphire.
And... yeah, okay.
He looks at this handful of gems that's being thrust into his face. He looks around him, looks behind him, thinks twice, looks at Uriel's fists. Well, it's pretty poor quality, isn't it? Look at this. It's
Emelina said they were worth quite a lot, actually.
Yes, well, what does Emelina know about it, does she?
She had an eyeglass.
Yeah, the binoculars, they went boop, 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 and then she could see really closely.
Why don't you go and sell to Emelina then? It sounds like you've got that all sewed up.
We were going to sell to you.
I don't think she wanted
Yes,
them.
you were, weren't
No.
you? Well, I can look at these and I can tell you that in total they're probably worth 400 gold, if that.
Insight check.
Okay, roll an insight check.
This episode, Bates is nothing but insightful.
I know. 15.
He is absolutely lying. You see a twinkle in his eye, and you can see that he's holding himself quite stiffly, just trying to work out the best way of getting his way in this situation.
You're lying.
Loads. What?
He's lying
At what?
about how much they're worth.
But he's going to give us 400 gold. That is so
He
much gold.
should be giving us more, clearly.
How dare you?
Shillelagh.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll just cast it and just have my arm turn into a club.
No, Infinity. No,
What?
that is
He's
not-
being rude.
No, that is not. No, you're being rude. You have to be nice to people, otherwise they will think you're scary.
He's lying to you, Tenebris.
As you're saying this, you're having this conversation looking at Tenebris. Your arm, sinews burst out of it. They rupture. This woody, dark exterior goes around it. The metal, the pistons, the pipework bunches up and bursts out to form this knobbly, powerful-looking metallo-wooden club, which you're just holding in front of you like
To the side, really. Just
straight up like a bonking club.
yeah.
Infinity, look at that. Look at what is that for?
Make an intimidation check.
Rolled a 19. 18.
Oh man.
Have -1.
Nice. Well done.
Someone's going to get
Yeah,
bombed.
I would have given you advantage anyway, but
I mean, let's see if I get that. 20. Yeah, I don't. Okay.
he looks up at the club. Maybe I could take another look. Difficult in this light conditions, always
It is
hard,
quite
of
dark.
course.
Yes.
Yes, very dark indeed. If you'll excuse me, looks up at the club. Yes. 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 My apologies. Of course, this is this is worth a substantially large amount. It was the sapphires, you see. They were hidden underneath the rubies. It was difficult for me to.
No, you knew before. You just lied about it.
Yes. No. 600
okay,
gold. 600 gold.
That sounds better.
Very well.
Is that good?
Have you got a crypto wallet that I could have that in by any chance?
Crypto wallet. Well, you can have this old card. I must warn you, though, that I don't know where it's been. Don't know who's tracking it, but you can have it if you wish.
Sounds good
And
to
he
me.
presents you a scuffed, flat piece of metal. So it's a flattened piece of metal which has a series of digits embossed upon it, and it's about the size of half the size of a credit card.
Like an equal credit card.
Vehicle card.
Equal credit card.
That is very, very nice of you, Chavid.
Thank you for telling the truth.
No, you're very welcome. So, how do you want it all on this card?
No. Put 200 on that, and then 10 here will take the other 400.
I have this card.
Yes. Very well. And he takes both of the cards, and he reaches behind his head, and he taps them against the base of his neck, one and then the other. Then he hands them back to you both.
That's it. So cool.
Scoops up the gems, opens his coat and pours them into a sort of poacher's pocket on the inside. Pleasure doing business with you. And away he stomps into
Lovely
the
to
hubbub
meet
of the
you.
group of people. A pleasure. It was all yours. You hear as he disappears.
Oh,
Okay,
Travid, away!
I know that worked out really well
yes.
right then, and we got more money. Yeah, I know that seems like, yay, well done, Infinity. But no, that is not the message here. But not yay.
Tenebris, he was lying to you.
Yes, but okay. There are people lying all the time. That is how people are. They're like, oh, I'm lying. But that doesn't mean you threaten to hit them with big hitty arm.
Bonk arm.
Well,
Bonk arm.
the bonk arm's just like a parity check, really. You've got to make sure the information is, correct.
No, I knew it was wrong. I just wanted him to tell us the truth.
Bonking people is more bad than lying to people. Sorry. I feel like you're not taking this seriously, Infinity.
Infinity's taking it so seriously. It's Emily who's the problem. Yes. Okay, so
Someone clip that, please.
I shouldn't threaten to bonk people if they lie to me.
No, because it is like escalating, like someone is just doing a little lying and then you're like, I'm going to bonk you, and then they're like, I'm going to stab you, and then before you know it, people are fighting each other. And
I thought lying was bad.
it is bad. It is bad, but there are like different levels of bad. And just because someone else does bad doesn't mean you have to do bad. You can
But he lied to you.
Well, tell him off. Say, don't lie, please.
I did.
But without the, or I will bonk you, suppose.
I mean, you can't deny that it got results. I feel like it's
Just
justified
results.
in this situation.
I'm
One,
just a-
one bad thing can eliminate another bad thing, and that's a neutral outcome.
Right. You two give off different messages sometimes.
There's definitely, okay. All I know is that it is nice to be nice to people. And if other people are nice, that doesn't just mean you should not be nice. Because otherwise, no one in the world would be nice.
But
That's quite sad.
I think being realistic, you're not going to get very far, out here without some
Come on, get out the trees. Come on, there's no time.
Oh, they
Do we have to
leaving.
go up a tree? Should we go down the tree?
Shall we go with them? Oh, then we want to get paid by Reeve.
No, I think we need... I know where to go.
Oh, you know
Over
how to
there.
get back
Maybe
to the...
we should stay up here before, for the night, because, the wolves.
Oh,
Kind of a
yes, have
recent
sleep.
traumatic memory.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like a good idea.
Okay. That is a good idea. But they are taking away all the platforms and the ropes.
Are they taking the platforms or just the ropes?
Also, how
They
do we
are
get
taking
down?
the platforms. You look around.
Oh, God,
you
how are we
see
going to get down? Oh, God.
burly figures
Get the
carefully easing up the wooden boards
Oh, no.
and carefully packing them away and storing them as they work their way from one side of the platforms to the other. And even this large merchant platform is starting to be taken away at the edges, and you can see that the hustle and bustle of people is ever so slightly starting to thin.
I would love to stay here and eat food and see where everyone's going, but what if we stay too long and then we cannot get back down?
Yes, I think that would be bad.
Shall we
So-
go find a ladder and go down?
Is there a
What if-
middle ground that we can, be off of the forest floor, maybe?
Yeah, I
Is there a
agree.
big branch? So you said some of the branches were really huge. Are there any that look huge enough for us to kind of...
Yes,
on?
they're massive. So even though the platforms themselves have been constructed to make passage around the trunks easier, the branches are easily walkable on. You could lie down on them. They're, 1 meter, 2 meters wide in some places.
Should we sleep up here?
I was able to climb a tree, but climbing is quite dangerous.
Well, we have Uriel's belt.
The belt is staying on. I've had enough. I've had it.
Uriel, when you were unconscious, there was a point where I really needed the rope, and I didn't even suggest stealing your belt. You'll be glad to know.
I really appreciate that. Thank you, Tenebris.
You're welcome. I'm just a bit worried that we will wake up in the morning and look down and we will be a long way up and then someone will fall out of a tree.
Uriel's belt is very long.
Uriel just said he did not want us to use his belt.
Look, if it comes down to it, we can use the belt, but can we please try and just keep it on? I want to stay warm tonight.
We don't have to take it off now.
No, you don't need it for now. You can stay warm. We are so
We're not asking you to undress, Uriel.
Uriel, we don't want you to be unhappy. We want you to be warm and belted and clothed. We all want that.
Okay, come the morning and we can use the belt. Fine. Right, let's go. Otherwise, they're going to take the ground from underneath us.
Okay.
Why are they recycling all these?
As we're wandering around, can I look for like somewhere that's not just on a branch but like sheltered, like maybe a hollow in the...
Or an abandoned
Sorry, I interrupted you, Simon.
No.
Yes, you walk around the circumference of this tree, following this platform, and although you don't see anything at the level of the platform, what you do see is just above your head, maybe a couple of branches up, a deep sort of infill into the trunk, something that looks like it's been made, maybe by an animal or something, but is now empty and clean and clear.
Okay, we can sleep here. Look, it all will be warm. We will all huddle together and try not to freeze to death.
Are there any wolves?
Not in the tree, I don't think.
Wolves don't live in trees.
I meant
Well, I'll take your word for it.
Thing. But it was not wolf size. I meant like it was like little like, and it was very beautiful. But probably wouldn't eat us.
That sounds
I
lovely.
was really hungry. Yeah, you'd have liked it infinitely.
I was not turned on at that point.
Yeah. Before we go to... God damn it. God damn it, guys.
I didn't even realise that they said it.
Blindsided me.
I blindsided myself. So
Before we go to bed, maybe we should... I want to go see if the giant machine... Is it going to fly away? They were like, we're going to leave. And then there were
it's
balloons.
flying away
like,
already.
Is it? Are they all going to fly away? Let's see. Let's go and see, please.
Let's watch.
Where are we going to stand if they're all flying away? Because they're taking away all of the platforms. The platforms are going to be on the things that are flying away.
We'll stand on a branch, Uriel. They're very big.
But like a branch that has a good view.
Like stargazing.
We look for a branch with a good view.
You walk your way out. So you'd have to do a little bit of climbing, but you make it up towards the upper layer of this huge old tree. It's massive old pine, and you walk out along one of the thicker branches until you break out of the leaf layer and you can see the sky. And what you see above you are tens and tens of black silhouettes, some smaller, some larger, all circular, just rising slowly out of the tops of the trees, silhouetted against the starlight, silently, and hanging beneath them, tiny figures, sometimes multiple, sometimes little constructions, almost like boats, hanging beneath these orbs, but you can't see them well. It's just the silhouette of them against the stars and the moon, and they float like bubbles away across the tops of the trees.
It's very beautiful. Tenebris, before the wolves arrived, you were going to show us.
Are there still people around?
By now, there is no one left in the treetops. The final parts of the lights have gone out and it's almost pitch black. The only reason you can see is the light of the moon and the light of the stars, which with all of your dark vision does mean that you see quite clearly, but just in black and white in contrast. But there is no one else here, no.
I don't quite know what you were going to show us, but you were about to show us something, and we said we wouldn't be scared of you. And I know now I definitely wouldn't be scared of you because you saved our lives.
Yes, and I'm lovely.
You are lovely.
Okay. Maybe, okay. Okay, Uriel,
Yep.
don't freak out, okay?
I'm not giving you the...
No, it's not, I don't need the belt. I just
Oh,
warning
okay, I'm on
you.
board then.
Don't freak out, okay? Okay.
Okay.
And then in Uriel's head, without speaking out loud, I'm going to be like, "Hi, Uriel, it is me, DnDebrief. I'm in your head."
Wait, 1 sec. Let me just roll for something.
Roll for freak out.
Hang on. Okay, so I just rolled to see if I fell off the branch out of shock.
Oh, no. Oh, you absolute prick.
And I said to myself, if it's a nat 1, he's gone. He's like keeled over backwards. I just rolled a 2.
Can we say I catch you with the 2? Yeah. Uriel?
Sorry,
What
Uriel.
did you do to him?
I'm sorry, Uriel.
She was in my head.
But in a nice way, not in the horrible way. I don't know if it works on robots. Okay, let me try.
Can you put me back on the branch, please?
Okay, come
Yeah, I've put you back on the branch.
come back.
How did you do that? Is that a neural implant? When did you put it in me? When I was asleep?
Please, can you try on me?
Okay, but you don't really have... Oh my gosh, okay. I don't know how your brain works though, Infinity.
Oh, it's a neural network.
Okay. I think you probably hear this, but you like maybe hear it like, I don't know, like slightly glitchy or in like a weird frequency or something. But
Yeah.
I will say, hello, Infinity. Can you hear me? And
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. You weren't moving your mouth. You weren't doing the vocal cord thing, and I still understood you.
I didn't hear anything then.
That's the fun part. But sometimes even the fun part really freaks people out, and then they don't like it, and you find out about the other parts, and then they really don't like it.
There's
What's
another
the other
part.
part?
The other part, I don't. The other part, we don't like to do the other part. The other part is like the pain in your head.
Oh no, I would like you not to do that.
Wait, when you say we, who's we?
Oh, so then the other part is that it's not just me that is here, and you.
Infinity looks around.
And Uriel, it is there are some friends here with us.
Friends?
Uh-huh. And are these friends here right now?
Yes, they are always here. They are always everywhere. Well, everywhere around here.
Right.
Where are they?
Well, usually you can't see them because they are very small.
Uh-huh.
How do you see them?
Well, sometimes. A sec. What have I got left? Okay. She's gonna sort of close her eyes and think for a bit. And it starts off little spots of light around, and again it's that kind of like you can't quite see it, but they sort of convalesce into, I'm going to say, 3 small sort of like glowing spheres just sort of like floating around us. She's also going to just look around and make sure people have gone because that's a bit obvious.
DnDebrief. Did you do that?
Hello.
No.
I am
They did.
Uriel. Nice to meet you.
Oh, hello, I'm Infinite Sky 6000.
Have you been here the whole time? Because you could have helped a couple of key points over the past couple of days.
We did. We were just pretending not to.
Right. Okay.
Tenebris, this is beautiful.
Okay, we are going to stop now in case someone looks and sees.
What would be bad about that?
It will. It is not. I don't know where. I don't know where it all comes from, and I don't want anyone to.
Are they
find out?
Are they bugs?
I don't really know. Are they bugs? Like, they're not like insects. No.
Oh.
So where you come from, is everybody like this with these glowing things with you? Or is this just you, Tenebris?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it is just me. But I found them, and then we go everywhere together now. But I don't know if it is a good thing or not, because people.
Why?
Well, people didn't. I don't know. I just don't know if it is a good thing. People don't like it.
It's helped us get through. If you were saying they helped before.
Yes, and then one of the wolves, and then I was like, ha, and then Barax, and then they got inside his brain and twisted it into pain. But we don't usually do that because we're usually very, very nice.
You are very nice.
Yes, thank you.
So is your friend going inside my head when you're making me hear these things?
No, I don't think they're inside your head. They're just all around. And then we can you kind of have to know how the inside of heads work, and then you can change it from the outside, I think.
Oh.
They're reprogramming our brains to talk to us, is that right?
I don't really... It's not reprogramming like a computer.
Well, whatever it is, it's if it's been useful up until now, then if you think you could stop us getting eaten by wolves in future, A-okay to use it from me.
You must be very special, Tenebris. If all these creatures wanted to be friends with you.
Maybe they wanted to be friends with me because, I'm
special.
Special, yeah, maybe. Maybe it is.
Because you're so nice.
Because I'm very nice. Yes. I am very nice, and no one needs to be afraid of us because we are only doing good. But if people find out, then they might think we're doing bad, or they might want us to do bad. So we're just going to keep very quiet and not tell anyone that we are all here together.
Okay.
Okay?
Do they have names?
They are not lots of them. They are like one them. And I am also one with them, sometimes a little bit,
What?
Like we are all sort of together.
But do they have a name? What do you call them?
I don't really need to call them anything because they are always here and I am part of them, so I don't really need to talk to them. And I can't talk to them because they don't talk, but they just are.
How can you have friends that don't have names? Is it more like you're in a cloud? Like you're sort of distributing, the processing power between you and all the other members of the cloud. You're just the big physical one, and then they're like little processing centers run specific functions on.
Maybe. I like that. Maybe we are all a cloud. That sounds very happy and gentle and nice.
We can call them the Cloud.
Okay.
Tenebris and the Cloud.
Okay.
I am also in the saying
cloud.
This,
okay.
Tenebris in the cloud.
Clouds start to drift over the sky, slowly obscuring the moon and the stars. And whereas it seemed dark before, now real darkness falls. And you can barely see beyond the outside of the tree that you're in. You hear the sounds of the nightjar. You hear the crickets. Sometimes the howl of a lone wolf. A thick sap scent fills your nostrils, and you all feel deathly tired and weary.
We should go to sleep. I'm very glad you're both here.
I'm glad we're both here too. It's not been a good day.
No. I'm sorry again.
I'm glad that we're all like friends together and we like each other and are friends.
Well, we're all looking out for each other, and if you and the cloud are looking out for me and Infinity, then we're looking out for you.
Gonna give them both hugs.
Oh,
Not quite at that point yet, but that's fine.
I'm learning about this. And I sort of pull everyone in, including Uriel.
No, Uriel said no thank you. Oh, no.
No, but I like hugs.
Oh, I know, but Uriel, do you like the hug?
I could get used to it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, stop. Well, Tenebris, do you want to go to sleep first? And I can...
Is that okay? Do you mind? No, you're very injured. How are you feeling?
Oh,
You
I feel
first.
better than I did earlier. I did a little defrag, so...
No, Infinity, you have had a really hard day. You have to, whatever it is you do.
Oh, okay. I can go first. Uriel's asleep again.
Oh, that is
he snores. I quite like it.
Good night, Infinity.
Good night, Tenebris.
Oh,
Just
yeah. They did that again. Still
I love this
straight
head
onto the
count
floor.
of her just
Still weird.
planking backwards.
Still weird. Okay. We went back to the little cozy thing right now.
It's what's his name? Level Longbottom. He just gets petrificus, and then Infinity just goes.
Petrificus totalis.
Tenebris is gonna write some really happy things in her notes. She's very
Tenebris,
Yeah.
you sketch down the last of these thoughts, and then I'm right in thinking that you meditate. Is that right, or do you sleep just in very condensed form?
It is trancing by the mechanics.
What do you do?
I feel like it's not like fully aware. It's like, you're trancing, but you're more easily woken up.
Okay.
For the benefit of
You allow
people at home
yourself
who
to-
don't know D&D very well, obviously I do. What does trancing mean in the D&D context?
That is.
So the D&D
elves
context.
trance rather than sleep.
Yeah, basically it's a mechanic to make elves sleep for only 4 hours versus normal things which sleep for 8 hours.
Right.
That seems to be the only.
so
There's no mechanical
mechanism for
difference
it.
other than that.
meditate semi-consciously with a sort of dream. Yeah.
As you slip into the closest you can come to sleep, you, for the first time, you feel.
I was supposed to be. I thought I was supposed to. I thought we were. I
say,
assumed we were doing the
Infinity's
keeping
out.
watch. Infinity's sleeping for
Yeah,
the first
oh, right,
4
okay.
hours, and then I'm going to.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I was just so into all of.
We
the
normally
things.
go the other way around, so that's probably why. This is the first time we've switched it out.
Tenebris, you stay up, just scritching in your notepad that you can still see even in this intense darkness. Roll a perception check as the night wears on.
I think that's like a 17.
You look out over the treetops. In the darkness, you hear the sounds of the animals, and the forest seems resting. And your watch passes without any incident.
Is it cold up here?
It is.
We're in the mountains. We're up a tree. God damn
It
it.
is.
But you're in a forest.
So the-
Forest microclimates have less variance.
But here at the top, the winds rushing down from the tops of the mountains are not broken by the tree cover, and you do shiver as you stay awake for your watch.
I will then, at the end, wake up Infinity.
Yeah.
Infinity, before you wake, the same dreams. The green, the light. And for the first time, coalescing, you start to feel like the image is taking some sort of shape. As though you were getting the hint of a grove somewhere. But that's all.
Good morning, Tenebris. You should go
It's
to
not
sleep.
morning yet. It's still...
I know, but
Very morning.
she's woken up. You should go to sleep.
Okay, but it is okay. It is cold here. Can you just make sure you're sitting just so I can just sort of like...
Oh, yes, I want to
I'm
watch
going to be
the
around
sun.
you. Okay, I don't know where the sun will be, but just, maybe if we just huddle a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Because it is cold and I don't want to die of cold. In your cold world. Why is this planet so cold?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Good night.
Good night. Infinity will just look out over the trees and watch the stars and the sun come up in a few hours, I guess.
Roll a perception check.
Oh yeah, and probably keep a lookout. I think. Ooh, 11.
11. You look out over the trees, and as the first trickle of light seeps into the sky, you sense change around you. It's very slight. It's a scent that's filling your nostrils, and it's just a very slight sweetness. And you look around you and you see tiny buds starting to open in the very earliest of the dawn light. Little purple flowers with long frondrils sticking out of the centre, with tiny balls of sap and pollen on the end.
Get a science check on the word frondrils.
Fronds and tendrils combined, maybe?
It's a space word.
Yeah.
A splurge.
It's a space word.
And then you hear
I hate it.
but with less sort of squelching. And you see tiny shapes, tiny bats, landing on the flowers, munching up the pollen and flying away again.
She just watches and just so happy.
The
I
sun
think she probably
rises.
crafts one of the flowers as well in her hand and just creates a little one.
You stand, roll a sleight of hand check.
Oh no. I'm going to kill a bat.
Scrunch.
Oh, I really might. It's a natural 1, -1. So 0.
An actual 0.
Oh no, sorry, it's +1. It's +1. It's natural.
The bats never even come close. You craft
And
this
they're like,
flower, which looks
"Flower?"
amazing.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. Would you like it?
The concept of stealthy hand movement has escaped you.
It's like a huge sunflower. It's the wrong kind of flower.
Have a flower.
Tenebris, as you sleep, you feel the shape of their thoughts in your dreams, just ever so slightly. You've never been inside their heads before, and this is now familiar, the echo of their thoughts. Uriel, again, the coldness of your dreams encloses you. And then you all wake as the sun rises.
I saw bats.
What?
Bats. I saw. I'd never seen a bat.
Did the bats attack us? Did we
No.
get attacked by bats?
No, they were just having food.
Oh, okay, great.
I just tried to sleep off a wolf bite. Feel alright, actually.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I feel kind of back to the way I was before.
Good. Are you okay, Infinity, after you were broken?
Oh yes, I
everywhere?
feel fine.
I feel kind of better than I ever felt, apart from a headache.
Oh.
But mostly I feel great because apart from I'm in a tree. Okay, there are a lot of downsides to this situation. But apart from being in the tree with a headache, I have my friends and we did a job and we have so much money. I've never seen so much money before. And we are in the tree, but once we get out of the tree, everything is going to be great.
We're going to get to Val, we're going to get even more money, and then we can get off of this rock.
Where are we going to go?
The shipyards. Uriel is going to get us all jobs, and we will make new life in shipyard.
I'm going to go to shipyards. We'll see. We'll worry about passage for the rest of you. I mean, Infinity, I think you'd be very welcome. Tenebris, I'm sure we could probably sort something for you as well.
How much is passage?
I never handled that side before, but I'm guessing it's going to be quite a bit. So let's get to Val, work out how much we've got, how much credit we've got.
Because shuttle from from Gunka to Val was like quite a lot. And
yeah.
I guess if you're going to another planet, then it is maybe a lot.
I will probably stay here.
In the forest?
On Praxigantu.
Because it is like your child that you made.
Well, I don't know, but it might be.
Maybe. You can adopt Praxigantu anyway.
I don't know if you can adopt a planet.
You can.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't you want to go to somewhere that is barren and make it a new planet?
I could. That's not really what I'm programmed for.
What you were made for. You've got all this equipment to bring life to a planet.
For Praxigantu.
Doesn't have to be just here.
It does.
Was it called Praxigantu before you got here?
Yes. They named it.
Nice.
Maybe you could make Braxigan 3.
Oh no, I think you're spelling it wrong. It's TU at the end,
That was amazing.
not the number.
Oh.
That was the best joke of the campaign. I'm so happy. That was incredible.
Should we go to Val?
Let's go to
We need
Val.
to get out of a tree.
I've got a
Okay,
good feeling about this. I don't think anything's going to go wrong.
Oh dear. Okay.
The simple things, everyone.
Also, let's keep an eye out for wolves. Because did you hear them howling yesterday and in the night? And oh my gosh, I don't want to fight the wolves again. Next time, let's all just climb a tree if we see wolves. Okay?
As you have this conversation,
wolf
you're lowering
comes from the
yourself
side.
down out of the tree. And we'll say that with the judicious application of Uriel's rope,
I'm going down first, all right?
Well,
with
Not with you.
Tenebris's experience climbing the tree, you both managed to shepherd Infinity down, who is not having the best time of it.
Just falls like a rock.
You reach the
Bang.
Clonk.
You reach the forest floor, and Infinity, with the survival check that you rolled last time, you definitely know the way to go. And in a couple of hours of trekking through the forest underbrush, you start to hear the sounds of machines, the sounds of engines. And you realise that on your way, you've actually seen less movement, you've seen less of the shapes and flitters of animals as you've come closer and closer. And as you break the tree line, you see in front of you the fencing, the rough-hewn fencing of Val surrounding the colony itself.
Oh,
And you hear from inside the sound of shouting
Oh no.
and the sound of music.
sound of
The
wolves.
occasional of gunfire.
What?
And then cheering. I get it. The sounds of arguments, of revelry, but mixed in with a little smattering of chaos. And as you walk your way around and reach the gate of Vow, you see that it's been left open, that the guards are not at their post, and inside you see miners all over the place, clumped together in groups, swaying drunkenly across the grass, shouting at each other, wagging their fingers. You can hear raucous merriment, and you see the source of the music, what looks like a sprightly, older-looking person with a machined arm protruding from thick furs, is playing the fiddle in the middle of the road. And there's a gang of miners all dancing in a sort of impromptu ceilidh around her, uproariously, metal legs all churning the ground and the grass up to mud, and they slip, they slide as they fall over. There's cheering and they dance more, and around them gaggles and groups of other miners, other people who've been working in Vow, some of them looking upset, some of them angry, some of them shouting. You see one or two of them, one throws a punch, misses, falls over, the other one jumps on the back of them. It's all a bit chaotic. And that is where we will leave it for today.
Hey.
Nothing bad can come from this at all. Everyone's so happy. I'm sure the guns are happy guns.
Happy guns.
Right, well, should we take a quick couple of minutes off, and then we'll be back for a somewhat abridged DnDebrief this week. Unfortunately, I've got to go and get a train relatively soon. So we'll only have maybe half an hour or so, I think, of chatting science, and then we will end it there. But if you want to take a quick break, we're going to be back in like 2 or 3 minutes with some of the science, and there's a lot to talk about. Quite a lot to talk about this week. Right, so we will be back in a couple of minutes. Take care. We'll see you on the other side.
Right, welcome back, everyone. If you noticed that there was a short break there, I don't know. I think it gets edited out. So
I put a little bit of music in the podcast.
Oh,
it just does a little bit of music and then we come back.
We get a subtle transition in the video. So
everyone,
thanks for drawing
just a
attention
fade.
To
I was going to say.
What I mean is, nothing has happened and no time has passed. Hello.
It's a
time.
great segue.
The horrifying reality that everything happens simultaneously. No time has passed.
It was time for your favourite part of the show. It is the DnDebrief.
Yes!
It's not just our favourite because we liked the name, but it is largely that. This is the kind of name where we pick some sciencey topics that have come up in the story. We talk about them. We try and explain everything that's happened with sort of real science or the places that real science might be able to go.
Feasible science.
Yeah. And we'll give you some fun science facts. So as some people have anticipated, I have a few things that I was going to talk about.
I've been waiting for this
Before
day.
we get into that, are there any major questions, things that have come up in this episode that we could either talk about briefly or save for future D&Debriefs?
The only thing I wrote down was salivating.
Why
as a science thing.
You specifically wrote
and why
down
we
that.
do
Great.
it.
It's a great
And then I
question.
realised I don't know, and I didn't look it up in the break, so I just think that's an interesting thing. Why do we salivate? Why do animals salivate? Why do some
fish
animals not
ideas?
If you
salivate?
don't have any saliva, you can't eat. When people are...
Yeah, but what's the point of seeing something and having like an inordinate amount?
But
Not an inordinate amount, but
am I correct in
it's
saying
You've seen dogs.
that is it saliva contains amylase? So it's one of those enzymes that
Breaks down
immediately
starch,
breaks down
yeah.
sugars. So what if it's like I'm anticipating that there's going to be food and I want the energy now?
I'm
now,
always
now, now,
anticipating bread. There's just constantly that's
Genuine question though, since we've been talking about this, has anyone else's mouth started to feel like it's salivating?
Yeah.
Because mine has.
No, that isn't. That is the interesting.
good.
It's not just looking at food; it's thinking about food. Your body starts physiologically preparing for the ingestion of food.
I just think it's really interesting how like some animals, like if you see a dog, it is like globules, and it's
That's
too much.
also for
I think
cooling,
that's because
though.
of their
That's panting.
lips. It's because of their lips that don't close properly, like ours. We have a nice seal. We're full of saliva. We just
Yeah,
go-
do wolves go around drooling everywhere?
I don't
Yeah.
shoot.
Cats will do it if you like. Some cats will do it if you stroke them, and like if you pet them in a way that they really enjoy, they'll just start drooling. I think that might be because my old cat was weird. Like,
that is like.
and she used to do, well, my recent cat, Jasmine, used to drool when she slept, and like, you know, you'd wake up and there'd be just it was like a drunk toddler. It's like
Drooling will see creepy or endearing.
oh,
Depending on who's doing it and how much there is.
Suboptimal, I would say.
Yeah. completely situationally dependent.
Surely there's like a local maximum, and then there's also like the further, if you get really far from that, it's also kind of endearing because it's like, oh bless, that's unique.
Yeah. Are you dehydrated now?
We also had in chat, Blindfish Ideas was saying the future currency chat, which is something I know that Ali, you've put a lot of thought into this.
Suddenly, I was like, "What? There's a whole thing about currency that Ali's got going on." We're gonna have to do that sometime, right?
I think we need to do
should.
a big
That's
one on that. A
fascinating.
full chat.
When we got lots of time.
Ali's currency.
That's a good idea, yeah.
system.
Very briefly, I really like flowers that are evolved just to be pollinated by bats. Flowers that only bloom at night, so that the bats and moths can pollinate them.
Oh, that's
and stuff.
a cool
And
idea.
Sometimes they're like really weird, like hanging shapes, just to sort of optimize the battiness.
The batty.
Yeah, because it'll be like
Yeah.
a specific species of bat is meant to pollinate it, and it's not that
cool.
rare. But bats are a very common pollinator.
Yeah, the
tropics.
Yeah, they're
proportion
super
or
common.
something, and you're like, what bats?
And you see some of them, I think it's something like the fruit bat or something, because it's so big. All that happens is it just stacks it into whatever it's going towards. Like, it's just, and there's a pollen. And just,
It's just like getting a cake and being like, I did it.
just wrestling this fruit to the ground, and then it's just covered in stuff. And it's
But
like,
then another cake watching and being like, come over here, do it again. And then when it like rolls in the other cake, it's like, aha, yes.
I love the idea of plants being like, come on, do it again.
Do it, you
Come
fuck, come on.
You know you want to.
Hit me.
I also have a future. Sorry, carry on.
The other thing that was interesting from a biological perspective was how large the trees are in Braxiganti. Because, like, I know that is something that has been mentioned before, that all the trees are huge, and, like, quite why that would be the case.
And also,
I think there's. Sorry.
no, you go.
I was wondering as well, just from a kind of from a physical perspective, I don't know how trees can get that big if all they use is transpiration up those little teeny tiny tubes. Like, how can you get enough water? Is it but you just slow your metabolism so that you don't? I just have no idea.
The
always
capillary
there's some
effect
better
would
way.
be the limiting factor, I'd imagine, yeah.
I also feel like they need less water once they get so huge. Not like less than they needed before, but like comparatively less than what they needed before. And I don't know why I think that. Is that wrong? Everyone's
Some
saying
of-
it's
no idea.
wrong.
Also, my question is, how much of a tree
Leaves need water.
is just structural and no longer needs to be?
Yeah.
I
The
imagine
inside,
alive.
the outside of the bark, which is
Yeah.
the bit which actually does
Yeah,
stuff,
exactly.
and then the inside is just dead, right?
Insides.
I mean, they could probably evolve specific leaf shapes so that moisture, like dew, would collect on, like certain desert species do.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a very
That
thing.
exists.
So you could, you know, if you
I don't know if
you grew exclusively in a particular like microclimate, especially if you're in a forest that you create the climate, then you know there's going to be dew every morning.
I'm sure that there are desert plants where dew collects on the bottom of the leaf where it's shaded.
And it's like that, right?
and
so
then-
it drips in.
Yeah, and I don't know about the drip thing because obviously I have to. Oh, if it drips down to the soil, and then I don't know if that's maybe.
I don't know.
do need
enough.
to look that up.
Don't know enough about botany.
Yeah.
Another question
Maybe we
for
should
a
wait till.
future Ali one
Got loads.
is dark and silent balloons rising up into the sky.
Oh yeah, that was beautiful.
Balloon transport.
Like, what
Tight.
was the mechanics?
Yeah, I suppose it should have been like, as they all have propellers and stuff, but.
Oh no, we'll pretend they didn't. I like the
What
idea.
if the trees had a symbiotic relationship with like a creeper or a vine or something, transported?
What if they're the pollinators? What if they pollinate these huge trees?
The balloons.
No, the people on the balloons traveling between the trees.
They're painting
pretty
the
cool.
pollen.
Oh,
That's pretty cool.
The people
Well,
love pollen. They just yeet themselves into the flowers like.
Didn't we also have a bit of an issue where we're not sure how old this planet is for things to have evolved? Like everything on this planet in like Infinity or some sort of a droid must have put there and designed to be working in a certain way. So
you don't
the
know.
fish
got this
people
image
that
You know, there's the really close-up, like, sort of nature documentary films of, like, it's really super close-up on the flower, waiting for the bat to arrive. And this guy's been sitting there for, like, 3 days, just waiting and waiting. And then you just hear...
the escalating scream.
We could put that on TikTok of just one of us just suddenly like doing like someone do a David Attenborough voice about like waiting for a pollinator to arrive, and then someone else just like body slams onto a flower.
it's just us recreating various animals.
We should do that as like a
documentary.
Christmas special. Just us recreating some of our weirdest clips, but like we'll dress up as like a bee and just roll around.
Things
Anyway,
we've talked about. I know, right, I'm going to stop you because I've got such cool stuff.
Yeah, we want to talk about your stuff.
Because I was so nearly there a few episodes ago. I was like, what did we tell you about my? Oh no,
Ali tried to kill everyone.
Again.
I've said sorry so many times. I'm only so sorry I could be.
No, it's good. We love it. We love getting eaten by wolves. I had a great time.
You can get eaten by wolves.
Yeah, I know. It was good. So Tenebris obviously doesn't necessarily know what my plans were for this or what everything is and what everything means. But I feel like Bates certainly had some ideas. Like, did anyone have any sort of things that they kind of thought it was either beforehand or afterwards?
Yeah, like I picked up on the potential parasitic kind of vibe when I think you said we had a bad job before, and like you kept saying we, and I was like, she keeps saying we.
I always assumed that there was like a communal thing, like you were part of a large community of people. Similar.
It was when I think you said at some point we had to leave, and I was like, wait, so not you and someone else, and I think they're still here from the way you're talking. And I was sat there and I was like, ooh, and I think you can see it in the episode. I can't remember when it was at all, but you can see me doing like, oh. And then part of it was from seeing like, I've seen like the artwork with like the lights kind of coming out. So I was like, maybe it's spores. Shout out to Cass, who does all of our art. Oh,
you love the art.
Beautiful.
If you're listening on podcast, try and come onto one of the videos and just check out the intro sequence.
Yeah.
We've got a trailer as well.
The video is
It's glorious.
Stunning.
Thank God you didn't die. Oh, God.
Yeah,
Like you were the one that could have stopped that.
He did stop it. He did stop it. We didn't die. It's fine. But you
So I like this the parasitic idea. It also slightly ties into the cordyceps, which I was talking about last week. But that is not the sort of main biological basis for what I was thinking about for this.
Is it mushrooms?
Not
And like spores?
exactly. No, it is slime molds. Was my concept. So the slime molds are a very sort of strange group of organisms. They're eukaryotic organisms, cells. They aren't really a real sort of single group of things. But they are the name given to this sort of like weird cells. And the main, the cool thing about slime molds is that sometimes they are individual cells, sometimes they come together and form almost the sort of rudimentary basis of a multicellular organism, but can then split up again. So it depends which kind you're talking about. So the dictostellids, we like them, can be hanging out.
Dictostellids.
Yes, I said dictostellids.
Just get a grip.
Say that.
But it's just,
I didn't laugh.
I didn't laugh. I was just trying to get everyone to acknowledge
I didn't laugh.
Dictostellids.
Boil and mash them, stick them in a stew.
Dictostellid slime molds can be like individual like organisms, or actually amoeboid ones as well, where they can be little amoeba on its own.
if there's a situation where like they're short of food, they can come together and act as one organism.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, it's a song. I get it now. Yeah, so I know that one. Yeah,
It's from the 60s. That's what.
yeah, I know that. I know. I was like, that's my
Your era.
I know that one. I know. Yeah. So they can form like some of the dictyostelids form like a slug thing. So this is like we're talking like tiny, right? But like it's got a front end and a back end, and it's got rudimentary senses, and it can like move forward.
Okay.
And it's kind of like I always kind of think of it as like, you know, is this sort of like the basis of multicellularity? Like these creatures can be multicellular organisms, or they can be single-celled organisms.
That's so
But they're
so
different
cool.
from most multicellular organisms in that the cells are not highly specialized, right? Like they are. Each cell seems to be highly.
But hang on, you're saying
But if
you're
you've
saying
got a
the
front and a
slug
back-
thing. You're saying the slug thing can sense, because that must mean that there is specialization within the slug, and if it's got a front and a back as well.
It doesn't have.
Or at least they can tell if they're surrounded by other cells of their type. So the ones at the front can tell that there's nothing in front of them, and they give off signals saying, I want to go this way. Then it's sort of like chain reaction back, maybe. And then the ones at the back are like, oh, I'm getting a signal from in front of me,
Like a
or from this
fish.
side of me at least. So there must be something there. It must be, and they're giving me a signal, so it's forward. So I'm the back now. And then it's like in a donkey costume.
Because they also obviously, they don't have neurons. And there are some slime molds
right.
that can exhibit a kind of learning, and kind of the idea of learning in such an alien creature. So the sort of specific kind of learning that they do is kind of like habituation. So habituation is kind of like getting, like when you get used to a stimulus, when you realize it's not harmful. So one example I read I was really liked was like when you put on your clothes and you're not feeling your clothes against your skin all the time, like you are not sensing that you are wearing clothes.
Now everyone is.
Yeah, and suddenly you're like,
I feel my tongue in my mouth.
Oh.
I'm consciously blinking.
Oh, don't say
and
the tongue in the
breathing.
mouth thing. I hate it.
I'm now consciously breathing. Thanks.
So they can.
Can I just add one more thing to your
Yeah.
slime molds? I don't know if
Yeah.
you're going to comment on this. They can form fruiting bodies. That's another thing that they have.
Like a
The
little
reason
blob.
that's significant
Oh, you were gonna
is
say this.
because you've got individuals, right? You've got individual slime molds, like amoeboid slime molds. They're living their life. When they come together to form a fruiting body, they form a little stalk with a little blob on top. The cells that are in that stalk aren't going to reproduce. That stalk is like a genetic dead end, an evolutionary dead end, right? It's sacrificing itself for the ones on top of the blob, because then they're able to.
That's crazy to
spread.
think about. It's
So
like ants.
Well, well, again, or it's like multicellular organisms, and it's kind of got that like similarity with both, where like, you know, only our what they called cells, egg and sperm cells.
Insofar as colonies are like
reproduce.
multicellular organisms.
And so it is more like a colony. I was dropping some colony hints actually earlier in the game as well.
I mean, is the term
yeah.
super? I know we talked about this. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? About the idea of superorganism. Like, is that more accurate for something like a colony?
Well, then, like, where I think it's just a really interesting question of where do you draw the line? And in evolution, if you think back about, you know, how multicellularity evolved, where do you draw the line between it being separate organisms that come together in a colony, or a single organism now? So there's another kind of slime mold, which is even weirder actually. Plasmodial slime molds. A kind of one giant floating cell, but with lots of DNA inside, but no cell walls. Like, it's not separated. There's just free floating DNA inside them. But like,
There's DNA.
Yeah.
For DNA for them
Their DNA.
to code. Yeah.
It's like a shared
a library.
bubble of DNA.
Yeah. But you can also split them up, right? If you split them up and you teach one side something like this negative stimuli doesn't hurt you, i.e. habituation, i.e. they've learned to get used to it, and then you like re-merge them so they can all learn it, and then split it up again. Well, you can't split up the same ones again, but like basically it's memory transfer. between organisms because you can split it up and it's now 2 separate organisms, both of which have that knowledge.
Does that mean that if a part of Tenebris's situation like learns something, then it will transfer to Tenebris and the rest of all the colony?
Well, in real life, Plasmodial slime molds are physically connected to each other. And the way I've described the little dots, it's much more like the other kind of like amoeboid slime molds where they can be separate, but they can come together to do things. Mm-hmm. But I think the sort of idea of the telepathic link is maybe a different way of combining everything.
Yeah, I like the combination of the different like aspects of it.
How do you propose that they change people's brain? Well, how's the voice?
That is so. I do want to come back to that, but basically, that's I feel like that's a whole other separate thing because all of my spells now that we've got this basis of I have this slime mold concept, right? So I have this concept that there are, microscopic single-celled organisms covering the ground that can sort of float in the air and spread and stick onto things. Starting from that basis, I then have another sort of set ideas about how every single spell I have, including the telepathy, would actually work. But I want to save that for another time.
Basically, like Infinity and her multitude of spells. And it's like, I have all the robotic things and also loads of biology shit. So yeah. Okay. That is
good. Awesome.
That's really cool.
Fun fact about slime molds, not particularly relevant, but it's very cool. So I think someone referenced it in chat as well. A fun experiment they did with slime molds, which is again Plasmodial slime molds, is that they put them in a Petri dish, right? And if you put it in a Petri dish and put little bits of oats in places, what it will do is it will spread out and it will find the oats. I mean, it's like one big thing, and then it will take away it will retract from areas where there's no food and kind of focus on the areas where there is food, but it will retain connections between itself.
Oh, no way.
So what they've done, like various people have actually done this with different places, is do things like take the major cities in England or the major stops on in Tokyo, and they put food on the sort of map of where those would be, right? And then they let the slime mold connect, and it forms these connections. And the connections that it forms are very, very similar to like the major rail networks that people have built to get between these places most efficiently. So it's kind of like an independent, way of designing maps. And the funny thing I thought that I saw was when they did it for like the UK, and apparently the slime molds never designed the M4. I'm just like, no one needs that.
Wow.
No, there are much better ways to make motorways that don't involve the M4.
It's an incredibly boring road. I feel like people would be happier if there was no M4. I did have a question in universe, basically this slime mold took a shine to Tenebris and they formed a colony with her. Does that mean that another human could join, and would all the memories that they have become one with Tenebris and the slime mold? Are we about to witness the start of the ball?
Oh no, are we all going to become
one? You will be assimilated.
That'll be really hard to roleplay if we have
biological and technological distinctiveness.
A lot of texting between you.
Yeah, being like 3, 2, 1, hello.
With the time delay as well, that'd be a nightmare.
Yeah, we'd have to play in person.
Be like the twins from The Shining.
Oh yeah.
But like 3 of us.
The triplets.
I like my slime molds because I know how all my spells work.
Yeah.
Based on that, but I don't really know what's going on with them. I
am excited to find out more about the slime molds. And
that's a really, really...
Tenebris and the Cloud. Maybe we should call it Tenebris and the Slime.
I really love how Simon, like Uriel, solidly interprets everything through a technological lens.
Oh, it's so good.
Really great.
So good.
So good.
It's the way he views the world.
Oh, it's cloud computing, and you're like, I guess sure.
So
why
good,
not?
Yeah. The great thing about this character is there is an awful lot of me in the way that he views the world. which is not entirely me. We are very different people, but yeah, there is some similarities there for sure.
Amazing hints at Uriel's backstory as well that I'm very excited about.
Yeah, Ali could have gone in a particular direction, I think, with the interrogation there, which I'm quite glad we saved for a future week.
Interrogation.
So excited.
This was a really good. This was different, I think, from all the other ones we've had before. But like,
it's our shopping episode.
It was our shopping episode with no shopping.
We bought food.
We bought food
for 1 ruby.
One ruby.
Yes,
we got 3
ruby.
pots of food.
That was so funny.
I think I just vaguely assumed. And so Simon's other character is really like careful with money, and it's just really weird that I could be in a group and be like, "Here is a ruby," and like no one stopped me, and I was like, "Oh, cool."
I was imagining like you're going to Camden Market,
then.
and somebody walks up to you and just goes, "Is this food? I will give you a ruby." And they're like, how much mac and cheese do I give you for this gemstone? Like, that's a Mr. Beast video waiting to happen. Like, weigh the amount of food you get given afterward. But that's a really good place to end it. I think we're bang on time for where I wanted to finish the stream today. So next week is a normal week, isn't it? Not doing anything unusual, like because there's some stuff that's coming up. Which we
playing the game
next week. When is
we're
next
just
week?
playing the game.
What is that?
I might be a bit late next week. Is next week?
We might be doing
a
few more chats at the start for Twitch people, and we might be. It might end up being slightly shorter if we do start later for pod and video people.
And we are thinking. I think just to look ahead at the schedule, I think it's going to be 2 weeks of normal episodes.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then we're stopping for Christmas. We're going to take a couple of weeks off, but.
Are we saying?
We would like.
I don't know.
We didn't discuss saying.
Oh God, it's happening!
What's happening?
We're going to do something different on the 15th of December. We're not exactly sure what that is going to be. We have a plan.
The 8th will also be a bit different, but we won't say how.
Well, the 8th is just going to be a pre-record.
Yeah, but
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's too much clues. We're pre-recording in person for the 8th, everyone. We're
not that exciting for everyone else. That's mostly exciting for us.
Really exciting
to be with each other. So.
I think it will be better. I think the role play will go up a level if we're in person.
Maybe.
You're dressing
I've got to
up.
buy myself a DM screen.
I am not dressing up.
I've never owned one.
Get yourself
I've got one if you need to borrow one.
Yeah, I do.
Dragons
Thank you.
on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a thing in my world, but maybe it is. Or maybe it is.
Yes, then we will have our Christmas special, which will not be the...
Well, I would just drop it all the...
We're giving it all.
It's fine. But no, they want to know. It's a Christmas special.
We don't know anything about the Christmas special
No
yet,
one knows. That's all, right?
That's true.
But it won't be the normal campaign. And then we will be off for a couple of weeks for Christmas and back on the 5th of January. In case you were making your Christmas plans.
With the new year, new RPGeeks. But we'll be the same. Chaos.
Amazing. Thank you everyone so much for joining. Thank you Twitch chat. Thank you everyone who watches on YouTube and podcast. As always, you can find us everywhere. We are at RPGeeks D&D in all of the places, the TikToks, the Twitters, all the things that the youth use these days, because we are down with those youth. So down. Why does Simon look so embarrassed? I don't understand.
This is his livelihood you're tanking. As we
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Simon is young and cool.
nice to say
Relative to the group. Not an
very much in the middle.
So yeah, please come along, follow us. If you're enjoying it, please tell us. I guess give us your support because
Nice.
we'd
Leave
like
us
to
a
hear.
review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, and that really does help the show.
5 stars. 5 stars.
We like that, and we will wrap it up there and see you next week for more Dungeons, Dragons, and Science.
Woo!
Bye for now.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.